Hello, this is Angelique, and you're listening to We're Booked Up, a segment of the Gaston Speaks podcast wherein Kendall, Andrew, and I discuss books. For this episode, we'll be discussing What Happened to Ruthy Ramirez by Claire Jimenez. There will be spoilers. This book covers serious topics that we are in no way experts on, so please take care with yourself before continuing. But first, what have we been reading or watching?
Oh, I read stuff. I just remembered. Thank you.
It's a good time for you to remember, in case you're wondering.
Yeah. I listened to Dinner for Vampires by Bethany Joy Lenz. She's the actress that was on One Tree Hill. And it's Dinner for Vampires, something about a cult while I was in cult TV. So she was in a religious cult during her time that she was on One Tree Hill, like 10 years of her life, like married the son of the cult leader, had a really messy, horrible divorce. And you know I'm obsessed with cults. Okay, listener, if you don't know, I'm obsessed with cults. So
you should join the Rotary. Just kidding. Love you guys.
I was going to say, I might have to buy some new outfits to fit in.
Then it's a cult.
I know, that's a cult joke. It's a cult joke. Anyway, so I'm obsessed with cults. And also, she talks about Wilmington while I was in Wilmington. And I also like that. Like, that's part of the reason why I listened to the Drama Queens podcast for a little while. Or I go back and watch Dawson's Creek because I get a little homesick and I get to look at my campus.
That's true.
Anyway.
I mean, you have to suffer through Dawson's Creek, but it's a beautiful background.
That's okay. We just really focus on the seasons we like season 3.
Okay.
Because Joey and Pacey forever. Anyway, so that was good. 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I listened to it too, which was helpful because then you get to hear it from her own voice. And she does voices. She's actually a really great narrator, I guess, because she's, an actress or whatever.
Yeah.
Does she do?
I wonder if she does voice work. Like, have you looked at her IMDb to see if she does like voice acting?
I mean, no.
Okay, I'm just saying maybe that may
know.
be like a special skill of hers. That's why she's such a good narrator.
I know. So she talked about all these things that she was in. I had no idea. I've only watched her on One Tree Hill, and I have not seen the last few seasons. Sorry. And then I read Every Beautiful Mile by Ashley Manley. She's the local author from Belmont.
Yes.
It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I read it for Maddie's book club. Ashley, if you're listening, I really enjoyed it. Thumbs up.
We'd love to have you at the library.
Yeah. I think she would love to come. I think she
she actually
tags us and stuff.
And at that Summer of Love book festival that
she
Belmont
was
Bookshop did, she was there, and I think she expressed some interest. So hopefully we'll get you to come do an author talk. It'd be great.
She was good. Like it was.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have to lie about it. Like she was actually good. I can't believe she's.
That's how I feel about this book. Is I'm so happy I don't have to lie about it because I really like the author. So.
I will say that Ashley Manley's book, what happened in it is a family who was grieving the loss of the father went on a road trip, and it was all about like them dealing with that. So I'm going to get a little bit of this confused because I read this last night and I read the Ashley Manley book last week.
Oh, God,
and
so there's a lot of similarities.
There's a little intermingling going on. So if I say something that's like, that didn't happen, you got to let me know.
Okay.
Will do. You watching anything?
I did, I'm sure. Hang on. Hold on. Or don't. I'm sure I did, but I didn't write it down, and so I've forgotten.
But you, Andrew?
So I watched the Emmys on Sunday. A lot of cool winners. If you have not seen The Pit, see The Pit. Hacks did very well. I love Hacks.
Hannah Einbinder
won finally, and of course Gene Smart could win every Emmy every year. I never get tired of it. And then that little show I liked, Somebody Somewhere, that I talked about here.
Yes.
They had 2 nominations, one for writing and one for supporting actor. Shockingly, last season never had any love, and he won up against like Harrison Ford. And he had the thing when he was like...
the most lovely speech.
Oh, it was awesome. When he was like, for 25 years, like, I want to be an actor. The world's like, maybe computers. It was so, like, the room was just rolling. His name's Jeff Hiller. He actually had Boom Boom Hiller is his nickname. But he actually has a book out, a memoir. And apparently the audiobook is really, really good. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of great shows you should catch up on. Right now I'm reading The Devil at His Elbow, which is the Valerie... Berline's book. She is coming next month to the Gaston Literacy Council, to the country club, and it's about the Alex Murdaugh trials and murders and all that kind of stuff. And we sold out in like the Low Country, South Carolina. He was the lawyer, big family, famous family. there was the boating accident, and then he killed his son and his wife and tried to cover it up. It turns out there was all these years of like him ripping off his because he was like a injury lawyer. You don't remember this case? It was like viral.
I am so intrigued.
Oh my God. It went on, like people were watching it on CNN like it was like crazy. It went, but we sold like, we had 300 seats. We sold like 250 of them in like 6 days.
That's
at the Country Club.
incredible.
So anyway, the book is fantastic. I mean, it's horrifying. But it's so well written. It's nonfiction, but it reads like fiction. So I'm really excited to meet her. And fun fact, her first gig as a reporter was at the Shelby Star up the road. So she has a lot of ties to this area. So she is, I think, waived her author fee to come.
Oh,
So
thank you.
this is the and I roll into this because we're about to talk about another great author that I met at a literacy council, which is Claire. But anyway, I'm reading that book so I can be prepared for the author talk. I wish I had read this one before Claire came.
I have so many questions.
I
If
have
she
so many
comes back,
questions. I want to
like,
have her back, like at the library.
I'd
I'd
love
like
to
her
hear
back.
her talk
Yeah.
about it.
But anyway, so I'm reading that and then watching. Honestly, I football season started. I've been in one of those like post summer reading ruts where I've just not really tried a lot of. I'm just catching up on stuff. So, what about you, Angelique?
I have 2 books checked out, and I haven't opened either one of them since I
In there.
got them, except for this one, of course. I have 3 books checked out then. I read only this one.
What are the other 2?
I don't even remember.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the covers.
I have like 17 books checked out. It's okay.
Yeah.
I watched YouTube.
Car
That's about
crash.
it. Car crash. Yeah.
Oh, I watched Superman. That's what I watched.
I
was
watched
it
that
good?
over the summer. I liked it.
I liked it too.
I like the people.
I did too. I enjoyed the experience.
Mhm.
It was too much for Wyatt. He is such an empathetic soul that he couldn't hang. My child who watches One Piece, I'm beginning to think it's when he sees things in real life, because he couldn't watch the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith because he didn't like how much he was getting picked on. And there's a scene in Superman where, in full superpowers, somebody throws like a can at the back of Superman's head. It bounces off. I don't even know if Superman was aware, and Wyatt burst into tears. He was like,
Aw.
"Why are they being so mean?" So he couldn't watch it. But we did. Like
Yeah.
it was fun. It was great.
I heard good things. I kind of wanted to see it in theaters, but summer's hard sometimes, so I
Yeah.
didn't get to it. I did see a movie called Caught Stealing.
With Austin Butler.
Yeah, and it had Regina King and Zoe
Saldana?
Kravitz. No,
Oh,
Kravitz. Different
I
Zoe.
love Zoe
Yeah.
Kravitz.
And like Liev Schreiber had a little bit part, and a bunch of like little Carol Kane from Taxi way back had a little bit part. It was directed by Darren Aronofsky, who did like Black Swan, but it was like an action comedy. It was actually really, really good. Brutal. I mean, they beat the crap out of that poor kid. But
I don't know that I can like wrap my brain around Darren Aronofsky doing a comedy.
very dark, mostly action, but still, there's a lot of. It's an interesting.
Like he did the one with the tree and Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah, and Black Swan, and The Fountain. You're thinking about The Fountain.
I'm thinking about The Fountain, and wasn't he? Did he do Requiem for a Dream?
Yes, that same Darren Aronofsky.
He
By
wrote
the
a
way-
comedy, people.
Dark, very dark action comedy, but yeah, it was really well done. And now I realize why, because it was Darren
Darren
Aronofsky.
Aronofsky,
Yeah. I did not know that going in. So anyway, I recommend that. Sorry, I finally remembered something I had actually watched.
Good job.
Cool. We ready?
Yep. Sorry, Angelique.
No, you're fine. That's what we're here for. All right, I'm going to synopsisize it.
What?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I actually wrote it on the paper, too.
Oh, I love you. I
Is
love
that
that we
not
had to write in our jokes. Writing is important. We learned that at the Emmys.
It is.
All right, we ready? The Ramirez women of Staten Island orbit around absence. When 13-year-old middle child Ruthy disappeared without a trace, it left the family scarred and scrambling. One night, 12 years later, oldest sister Jessica spots a woman on her TV screen in a raunchy reality show. She rushes to tell her younger sister Nina. This woman's hair is dyed red, and she calls herself Ruby, but the beauty mark under her left eye is instantly recognizable. Could it be Ruthy after all this time? The years since Ruthy's disappearance haven't been easy on the Ramirez family. It's 2008 and their mother, Dolores, is still struggling with the loss. Jessica juggles a newborn baby with her hospital job, and Nina, after 4 years at college, has returned home to medical school rejections and works at the lingerie store in the mall holding tiny bedazzled thongs. After seeing Maybe Ruthy on their screen, Jessica and Nina hatch a plan to drive to where the show is filmed and find their long-lost sister. When Dolores catches wind of their scheme, she insists on joining, along with her pot-stirring holy roller best friend, Irene. What follows is a family road trip and reckoning that will force the Ramirez women to finally face the past and look toward a future with or without Ruthy in it. What Happened to Ruthy Ramirez is a vivid family portrait in all its shattered reality, exploring the familial bonds between women and cycles of generational violence, colonialism, race, and silence, replete with snark, resentment, tenderness, and love. I don't know why it sounds like I'm crying. My voice just kind of...
Well, it was a very intense
It was very
book.
long.
Yeah.
Not the book, the blurb.
Synopsis,
That was
yeah.
spot on, though.
So I do have a tiny bone to pick with it. The road trip doesn't start until 30 pages
That's
until the
true.
book is almost
That's
done.
true,
And
yeah.
it lasts like 2 pages. No, it was a really...
Intense
I loved it. It was so well done. I could see it was so cinematic in my brain.
mhm.
Like, I loved it. And also, they just needed to leave that they were going to plan the road trip off. They just needed to say something like they have to figure out what to do, kind
Yeah.
of thing. And that would have been perfect. But yeah.
Like, it's important to the plot, but it's not like the entire plot.
I mean, it makes it sound like
Yeah,
it's going to be
yeah.
the bulk of the plot.
Yeah.
Well, and the plot's kind of almost like a side character. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it is, but it's not her main. That's why she doesn't mind in 30 pages having this whirlwind ending. Well-written, beautifully well-written ending. But it's because I don't really think it's much of her focus is the actual plot itself. In a good way.
All
by the
right,
way.
all right. Let's rate
Yeah.
it.
Sorry.
Oh, 5 stars.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too. 5
Yeah.
stars. I loved it.
I thought it
was
was
good.
fantastic. I have
It was
no
good.
notes.
I know.
My
I
biggest
didn't
note...
write notes either.
I didn't write notes.
I mean, I kind of have
You never write
ideas,
notes.
but well, do I need to kick one of you out of the car?
There's
Go back
about to be
around.
a Ramirez-esque fight. We're about to be on Cat House or whatever that cat
Cat
fight.
fight.
Yeah, whatever that is.
I think wow, it's been 5 stars from all of us. That
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it was a good book.
I mean, we very rarely all agreed. I mean, what I mean by that is we all love it.
I'm
like-
not saying it's like perfect, but it is a book that is worth reading,
Mhm.
and it gets you where it needs to get you.
Yeah.
And I
I think there's
that,
parts of it that are perfectly imperfect.
yeah.
Does that make sense? Or like,
So when I think about the parts that I struggled with, I cannot figure out how to change them, and that
Yeah.
to me is
Yeah.
why I think it's perfect. Because
you
I
were
think
supposed to struggle with
I
it.
think so. I think
Yeah.
it was all so intentional, and it's only 220 some pages.
And that to me is the real. I mean, we read like a 450-page book last month.
That half of could have been cut.
Cut out.
Just gone.
And 200.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. We talked about how they maybe they overdid a little bit of the plot in the synopsis, but it's like
Yeah,
but in
that's
that
the
30
synopsis,
pages.
It's the synopsis that I
Right.
have the biggest issue with.
Yeah.
But in 30 pages, she packed more action than in 250 pages of absolute power.
Correct. I was so concerned as I was texting Angelique last night. I was like, I got 30 pages. They haven't left yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is she going to do this effectively that makes it make sense? And it was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah.
I no notes. It was so good.
And even the last chapter, the gut punch last chapter, a page and a half?
Oh my
That's all you needed.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
you needed. She could have gone on and on and on and on and on, and she didn't. The reality is this is what happened, and that's
Yeah.
it. And that was it. And that was the end of the book. And I was like, and it's so funny. So the Goodreads reviewers, a lot of them did not like it.
Really?
And I'll tell you why, though. I'm telling you that it was they missed the whole point of it.
Yeah. I can see that.
They all talked about the language. To which someone responded, I grew up in Brooklyn, that's how we talk, grow up. That
Yeah.
was
This must have been a book club book or something then, because
and
yeah.
little
That also doesn't make sense to me because,
Yeah.
I mean, James Patterson, David Baldacci, they had the same amount of bad language. And it wasn't
And not
like...
just bad language, horrible violence against people.
Yes.
for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at least she's making the point that the horrible violence is part of our world and it's
Yeah.
we have to cope with it. And this is how the families who experience that horrible violence cope. I mean, David Baldacci just killed one poor lady who was trying to have an affair in the office.
Right,
Like,
for no reason, and it
we-
spurred a whole yeah.
Yes.
And by the way, but then I went back and I went to Novelist and I looked at like your Kirkus, your Publishers Weekly. They loved it. It was a 4 or
It's a
5 star
good
book,
book.
just like ours. So I was like, yeah, this was a book. This got assigned to some book clubs,
Yeah.
and some of these
And
little
they
old
just
ladies
did
did
not
not
get
understand it. And then they all were like, well, it's so jarring at the end. It was supposed to be.
supposed
And
to
actually, if
be,
you paid
yeah.
attention the whole way, it really wasn't that jarring.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's-
Sorry.
No,
All right,
let's go to
get
the
into the
questions.
questions.
Let's do it.
All right. What did you think of the characters? What did you think of their POVs or how they were written? Like their characterization. What did you think? I'm not going to ask for a favorite one because I don't know if you can.
Nina.
Really?
Really?
I saw Nina. The person who had all this bright
So
future, graduated from college, and then got out of college and had no idea what they want to do with their life and
Yeah.
ended up working in retail. It's Angel's life.
Oh,
Lee's messy all over the place, doesn't really understand. I don't know. I understood Nina.
It's not Andrew now because he's a supervisor at a
Yes.
decent suspect.
Don't tell my mother
We've
that. She has
learned that
different
this-
opinions about my success, but
We have learned that this is not a small city. We are not in a small town. You're not. There are 200,000 people, and you manage the largest department section.
the point is that I totally connected with Nina. I loved all the characters and hated them at the same time, which is the whole point because they're very flawed and very well written.
So the
But my favorite
majority
was Nina.
the majority of the book took place in 2008,
Mhm.
and
Right.
so I obviously felt Nina because Nina graduated. I graduated in 2009. Could not find a job at Books A Million. Like it was so hard to get a job, and it was so demeaning. And I really felt that. And this idea that you went to college and then you come out of college and you're like, and I'm doing nothing with my life,
Yep.
and it's a struggle just to survive. And I just spent all this money. Blah blah blah. I get Nina.
Felt it.
I ended up liking. So my absolute favorite character would have been Irene with her ridiculousness, but the character that I was surprised that I felt was Dolores.
Me too, actually. Yeah,
I was shocked by not from the girls' perspectives,
but from an
but
outside
from
perspective.
her when you were in
Mhm.
Dolores's POV, I felt her and the frustration about Nina leaving her
To go to college.
her
and-
no, leaving her dishes in the sink and
yeah.
that soup that Dolores spent all day making to be delicious and fill the home with warmth and good feelings, and she just spills it on the floor and keeps walking, and I'm
Yeah.
I feel that.
But I think and this is where but that's because Nina's so lost. It doesn't even. She's just like whatever. It just spills. It doesn't. I think that's part of her struggle.
Right, but I get that, and
Yeah.
I've been Nina,
Yeah.
and I probably am Nina when I go home, but I understand Dolores from a different perspective as a parent. I'm no longer in the new baby phase, so I understand why Jessica's exhausted and kind of mildly irritated at Lou, even though she's that's her person or whatever.
I liked Lou.
I liked Lou too.
He was
but-
just tired all the time.
He was working so hard, and
Right,
as someone who's married to someone who's just tired all the time, I get it. And babies are hard, but I don't know. Dolores is the one that I was like, why am I connecting so hard? Maybe it's because I'm almost her age.
And you have 3 children.
3 children.
But the point is that when you ask about how they did the characters, each one of them is so well written, and they're soulful, and their POVs, you immediately get into their world.
They're
you
so
feel
distinct from each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she grew up in this, and you do wonder, and now I can't remember because it's been so long it's been a year since we've had this conversation, but you know that some of those characters came from people you feel that in it, maybe even family members, friends, but it's been a long time since we've had a book where the characters were so well fleshed out.
Yeah.
In so little pages.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
just so well done. I can tell. I read the author's note, and she talked about how much she workshopped this book, and I can see it. I see the work that she put in because you can't see the work that she put in. It's effortless to read it.
It almost has. I was telling someone, they're like, what's it about? I said, I'm just kind of in love with the writing style.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's not stream of conscious, but there's moments where it has that feel.
Mm-hmm.
And when stream of conscious when it's not done well, or you don't understand it, you're like, I don't know what they're talking about. But when it's done well, it just flows. And she has moments like that. It's not stream, but it has that same kind of sentences just kind of pile in together, and you don't realize that by the end of it, you totally get what she's trying to say. And anyway, it's just, the characters are awesome characters. And you know what? Every single one of them, there are points where you're like, God, I am so mad at this person.
Yeah.
This person's struggling. Dolores pisses me off. Nina pisses me off. That's the point. They're human.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're also wonderful people underneath all their scars. And they're also, the entire book's about how they can't process trauma.
Yeah.
To the point that they know what happened to Ruthy. They know long before what happened, to the point that they see something on reality TV and it's such a false hope that they go on this wild, crazy thing. That is because they can't process their trauma. So when you understand that where that's coming from, you're like, God, this is, I mean, anyone who's ever had to process a trauma, you feel yourself in these characters at some point. That's how connected it is.
But the idea that they would have to, without knowing, they don't know for sure what happened.
Yeah.
To give up on hope feels like giving up on Ruthy. And that would be too much. I could not handle that.
But, you know, as you get to the end, and just, I guess we can say, we always say spoilers.
Yeah,
Ruthy was killed, and they find her body 20 years later. But even at the end, when they're sitting there and they're watching, like, the finale of Catfight, they know. It's like this, there's a weird acceptance to it. They tried.
Mm-hmm.
They had this shot. They piled in the car with Crazy Irene, who I also hated, but loved, but hated. And which is, again, you're supposed to, right? But when they snuck into the club, like,
oh
and then
my
God, that whole thing. By the way, some of the funniest set pieces that I've read in a book in a long time too.
Yeah.
For it to be so sad and dramatic one minute, and then you're laughing out loud the next.
She did a really good job. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to know who your favorite POV is, but I do want to say real quick that Claire Jimenez did a really great job of reflecting reality in which these really intense traumas happen to people, and yet life still happens. You still have the situational moments are so wonderful. Dolores doing her Christian self-defense videos and like pretending to like beat people up. Oh gosh, that had me cracking up because I was like, oh no, I did that when I was a kid. 100%. Like when I was doing those Tybo videos, you don't think I was punching somebody invisible in the face?
Yeah.
And then she got to I can't believe she actually like got to use those moves in the fight. I was like, I thought that was going to be a throwaway fun like character development thing. And then it's like, oh no, she did not provide any MacGuffins. She delivered.
Yeah.
So.
And I will say there were so many moments where I'm like, what was the point of this characterization? But then there would be a moment later on. Every little story, like Jessica, all the stories about the hospital, and you realize that it's because she's the one that always steps up to take care of. You know, like you really do it. There wasn't a moment wasted.
I agree.
And anyway, who was your favorite
I
POV,
know your POV
before we talk you to death?
Jessica. I thought it would be Dolores because I really liked Dolores' first chapter, but it was Jessica.
So we all have different favorite POV.
Yeah.
They were all good. I'm not going to hate on
But
anyone.
isn't that interesting
Yeah.
that I love that.
I do too.
I did like Jessica. I did understand her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nina was weirdly my least favorite, but I still liked her.
Oh, I didn't necessarily like Nina because I don't like myself. I'm just saying I understood her. I'm reading her and I'm like, oh my God, Nina and I, like, we need to meet in real life because we've lived the same life. That's what it feels like. So, no, I just connected, whether good or bad, I connected.
That makes sense. You step up a lot in your life and take care of other people. Makes sense to me. And your cats.
My cats.
They are very needy.
They are.
And I'm the one that leaves the dishes in the sink. So.
I mean, I am too, but I'm also the one who made the soup, so.
I also made the soup, though.
Okay. Maybe we should talk about that later.
We'll unpack that one later.
Do you want to try oxtail soup now? Because I kind of do too.
Oh, absolutely. I've had oxtail soup.
Really?
I
Okay.
can't remember where. It was traveling, but I've had oxtail soup. Oh, if it's done well, it's good.
Oh, it sounds good. Okay, let's go. I'm sorry.
Alrighty then. What did you think of the different ideas on why or how Ruthy disappeared? 'Cause I think each of them, like Nina, Jessica, and Dolores, had different perspectives. I think Dolores was the darkest and most realistic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jessica, at first, it seemed like when she was a kid, she suspected. But as she got older, I think maybe to protect herself, she thought Ruthy just walked away. And then
She was the one really leading the charge on the video with Ruby. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Nina I don't think she wanted to admit if something bad happened to Ruthy.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to put that in her own head, so she just wanted to believe that Ruthy ran away.
I think it's anytime something like that happens, depending on your station. You know, Jessica was the older sister. Nina was so small when a lot of that happened. Dolores was a mother, but she was young. And I think that all of that reflects where they came from and where they were at that time and to find out, for example, that Jessica had that sexual assault. You know, that changes the perspective of how she processed things. I think it was just another reflection of those brilliant characterizations that, I mean, I think they all wanted to believe that it wasn't true
Yeah.
Mhm.
at the end of the day. And so whatever version they came up with was how they processed that. But I still think secretly deep down they really knew what happened.
Probably.
I think you do, and also, like, two things can be true at once. Like, you know, the most devastating thing that could possibly happen happened. You know that. And also to lose hope that you're going to be able to find her, to lose hope, like, you need, how do you move forward? How do you carry on? You have to build these stories to help you survive, and these women were surviving.
I also think the story proves that sometimes not knowing is worse than knowing, because not knowing, that's where you fill in the gaps.
Well, I mean, that's
That's where-
demonstrated by the fact that they weren't really grieving the father.
At
even though
all.
his grief killed him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they knew what happened to him. They didn't know what
Mhm.
happened to Ruthy. Ruthy
And
was
they
like,
did.
That's
We
an
just
excellent
her
point.
absence was like a present.
yeah.
Her absence was a presence. You know, when I was at a play not in high school, in college, King John, there's a character named Constance who loses her child. And one of the lines she says is, grief fills the room with my child's presence, wears his pretty looks, walks around. Like, the fact that the grief becomes an entity, a person that you live with.
And this
is
is the
so
added
evident.
layer of, but we don't really, like, if she knew she lost her child,
Mm-hmm.
she knew he was gone or they were gone forever.
Mm-hmm.
This adds another layer to that of, they're always in the room, but maybe they still could be. Like
Yeah.
that's that background in the back of your head.
Well, this happens in real life. People are taken and killed horribly in real life. And also, there's Elizabeth Smart. There are
Mhm.
people who survive this. And you don't want to give up
Right.
that hope. I'm sorry. You just can't let go of it. We talk about processing the trauma, and I think that's important, but the idea that you would give up, I don't think is a realistic thing. Like, even if you know that she's probably had an untimely demise, you're not, as a human, going to ever process that until you know.
No, I wasn't saying they were
Yeah.
giving. I'm just saying that I think deep down, even with all of this, even with this wild horse chase, we're gonna go find this girl, and I think that deep down, they probably really knew.
Yeah.
They needed something like that to confirm it. They had to believe. You know, like you said, they had to see it for themselves. They had to see that birthmark get wiped away on her face for it to be. That was more devastating than the final chapter, honestly, because
yeah.
it was like the hope was gone.
I think it was more devastating for the women. I think
That's
the
what I
final
mean.
chapter was more devastating for me.
I meant for them.
But
For
yes,
them.
I
Yeah,
agree. I agree.
that was the
1000%.
gut punch for these characters.
Yeah. And it was also probably, like, I think some of the reaction was also like, I can't believe we did this. I can't believe we're in this situation.
Irene just punched somebody in the face with her
know.
hit her with the bag or whatever. We're getting locked up by the cops because we got into a brawl in a trashy.
I know.
It's hilarious, by the way.
I know. I cannot wait. I don't know why I said it came on. In my brain, they're going to make this into an HBO miniseries.
They should.
And so I just said I cannot wait for it, but they aren't. They should.
They should.
Should submit it.
Warner Brothers, if you are listening, we have a pitch, and we're going to give you some casting suggestions at the end. Stay tuned.
All right, we ready for the next question?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Do we have any favorite moments or quotes? Least favorite moments or quotes?
Okay, so yes, I have favorite moment. When Irene is just on the floor of that church.
Yes.
And there's an old lady using a walker to step around her, and Jessica's like, oh my gosh. But then
Dolores like, we will wait.
we will wait. But then I love that later. Well, one, because I think, so Dolores saying we will wait, I think it was really important because she knows that life is really hard and she's had a hard life. And sometimes you just have to give people their moment.
Mhm.
And that spoke so highly of Dolores to me. And then later, Jess, who's having all this commentary in her brain, because this is also the commentary that I would have in my brain, like about this old lady on the floor being absolutely ridiculous, Then later, when they're like, oh, this club is so disgusting or whatever, and Jess is like, yeah, but you also were doing this same kind of behavior. Like,
that was in
cracked me
God's
up.
place. It was a different. It was.
But it's so true. It was a beautiful reflection of the different generations and how they view things.
I liked when Dolores punched out that childhood best friend for smarting off at her at the mother's thing.
Really?
And I liked it because I think secretly, like, mothers always know.
Mm-hmm.
So mothers knew that the friend and her had a falling out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this very subconscious, like, first of all, she was awful and was smarting off at her when she broke the rules and wouldn't listen and all that kind of stuff. But I think Dolores secretly was like, I get to punch you finally.
It's hard for me, though, because to know Yesenia's backstory.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
It's that one's hard. But yes,
But
it was
for
nice
again, from Dolores' perspective, it was like there was a catharsis in that for whatever reason.
It was nice to see in Dolores's chapter her not be perfect, because the kids talk about how Dolores wouldn't be perfect. She'd be off working. She would lose her temper. She would intentionally beat her children so that they wouldn't go off and do these other, like, put themselves in situations in which they could be hurt, which
didn't work for.
I mean, the
Right.
world still happens.
Right.
It's how we cope with it. And anyway, so, like, I do like that. I like that she lost. I like that she lost her temper in her own chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you hand me the book real quick? I was trying to explain to someone like why I liked the lyricism of it, and there was like one chapter, and I remember it, and of course I didn't bring the book, so forgive me. It was page 2.
Page 2.
But it was just this was the first one where I was like, I'm gonna like how her descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
In my 4th grade mind, Ruthy was invincible. 13-year-old queen of the quick comeback, hoop earrings and Vaseline, patron saint of the fists, and late night call home from the principal. Who in the world could touch her? My sister. Just in that little paragraph, it was like, I'm gonna like this book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you have some of that, just it's not stream of conscious, but some of that idea of just loop and loop and loop and loop, but it all comes back. Who could hurt my sister?
Ugh.
Anyway, that was I know that was weird, but I remember reading that paragraph going, that is awesome. Who is this writer? And then it just got better and better and better since. But isn't it interesting that you remember that from the first couple pages?
I also really, really loved the fighting that the sisters did in the car, and the old ladies are just, because the way you don't get the words all the time. It is a general, it's like she establishes the idea. Maybe I can find it in the book and read it, but she establishes the idea and then says, and this is what we were fighting about. And then this was the comeback. And then in parentheses, she'll put what the actual person, or what the person actually said. And then she'd go back to her just little fragments of sentences to get the idea across. And I'm like, is that not how a fight goes?
Yeah.
And I love that they actually dropped her off and then it's like, and then had to wait for her to loop back around to pick me up. Like it was just
what a family moment, because I don't know about you guys, but I have been in the car where my parents have dropped one of us off
and then loop back
and
around.
then or it was just close enough home that we wouldn't.
Right.
But, or looped back around. Yeah, it has 100% happened. 100%.
And that to me is they're all so worked up and nervous and scared about
what's going to happen.
Not being able to. I think deep down they were like, they wanted to believe it was true, but they also knew there was a good chance that it wasn't. And so what do you do when you're in the situations? You take it out on each other. It always happens. You think about funerals, people yelling and screaming at each other and all that kind of stuff. It's because you have to project that somewhere. And when you're stuck in a car, it projects on the 4 people in the car. Yes.
So what you just said about the idea that you need to project it somewhere, I'm sorry if I'm about to skip ahead on a question. I don't know what your questions are. Anyway, at the end when they're all watching the final scene, and there was a lot of description in the cat fight, and I was like, why are we spending so many pages watching these cat fight, Gemstone, Michaela, and whatever? Why? And then I realized, like, okay, we're supposed to, because this is them getting out all of that energy, that nervous energy that you're talking about. This is how, like you said earlier, this is them processing it. This is them coping with it. This is how they get it out. This is why it's important.
And then the next page, you find out what actually happens. But that's the point. That was that jump to that gut punch that worked so well that people complained about. I'm like, you missed it. To me, you missed it. I don't know how you missed it, but you missed it.
All right, so we'll talk about the end now.
Okay, wait. I wanted to know what.
I liked any interaction Jessica had with Lou. I think they had a good. They had a fun relationship.
Every time it would be like, Lou, you're not listening. I'm listening.
To tell you that is my life. That is my life. Like, Marcus, half asleep, trying his best.
But when Lou got frustrated because they had to pick up Irene and then they had to, I totally felt that. Like, I think you were supposed to not, like, you're supposed to be frustrated with Lou. I'm like, no, screw Irene. I am totally on. He's got to get to work. He's got a life to live and this little old bitty.
He's got a family to support.
Yeah.
Like,
but he also was very sweet.
I know.
And he would try. He'd be like, give the baby. I'll take it. And then he would like fall asleep. So Jessica would take the baby. He's like, okay. And he'd go to bed. But he tried. He tried so hard.
Well, Marcus would be like, wake me up. And I'd be like, do you know how hard it is to wake you up out of your bare sleep slumber? I could feed the kid, change him, put him back in the bassinet, and you would,
And
by
I'd
the time
still
you
be
woke
going,
up.
wake up. Yeah.
Correct. Anyway, anyway.
I loved Lou.
I
Lou was
like
cool.
that you liked Jessica and Lou.
Yeah, they were fun.
I think it's so commonplace for me. I didn't even track it.
I think it was important because it was a healthy relationship. And so
Yeah.
many of them
And
had
it also gave you an idea of Jessica's character as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. But so many of them had unhealthy relationships,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
not necessarily the parents. We don't really know much. Like you said, the father's kind of a side thing at this point.
Yeah.
But you get the sense that he was not a bad man or anything like that. Because when they tried to pin it on him, they kept questioning him about Ruthy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was really heartbreaking for everyone because they knew their father had not done that. So that kind of gave you that clue of like. But it was important, I think, that Jessica and Lou had a healthy relationship because
Mhm.
it's proof that these women could find the right people and move on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it speaks more to her dad that she found the right person. Like
Yeah.
he was such a good, strong person. Like even Yesenia said, "I'm not afraid of your dad."
right.
So I think that they had those healthy model, like that healthy model and relationship. And then I'm so thankful that she was able to find Lou, because the idea of trusting another person, it's a good thing that she knew Lou from a childhood from
That helped.
before.
Yeah. They
So-
were lifelong friends.
All right. Next question. What did you think of the ending? How did you expect it to end?
That's
When
how
you
I
first
expected
started
it.
the book and then as you progressed through the book?
I'm such a cynic. That's how I expected it to end.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, this is a wild goose chase, and it's going to be a wild goose chase, and I know why they're doing it, but Ruthy's not alive. And
Yeah.
so for me, it was a gut punch, but it was also kind of like, dang, I was right, and I wish I wasn't.
Yeah.
See, I followed the model the ladies set. I did not think that Ruby was going to be Ruthy. I weirdly thought Savarino was going to be Ruthy, the mean boss
Mhm,
lady,
mhm.
because they kept mentioning things small. So first they said like, oh, she's 50, but she's got so much makeup on, like she's like preserved to 35. And I was like, well, maybe that's reverse. Like maybe she's just really covering up who
Mhm.
she is to hide or whatever. And they mentioned her red hair, but I
Mhm.
think that's just supposed to call up, like, there are lots of Puerto Rican women with red hair. Like, that's not as unusual as you may think. And she had this energy of, like, at one point she's described as a coach. And I was like, okay, so this is going to be Ruthy at the end. And so I'm holding on hope that Savarino is going to be Ruthy. And boy, that was one red herring. She had red hair. It was a red herring. And I believed it. I wanted to believe it because I did not want to believe what happened to Ruthy. And I was like, why are we also getting Ruthy's perspective? And again, we understand now, like at the end, but I was like, oh, we're going to have Ruthy's perspective. We're going to find out that she's still hiding in plain sight kind of thing.
And the way that so you understand that basically she's building up Ruthy's last day on Earth. And the way where there's a point where she says, and this is where the Ruthy's story ends.
Oof.
And it's not even like it's suddenly you're in Ruthy's perspective, and then suddenly you're you're totally pulled out of it.
Yeah.
And it was such a quick moment, but that was when you get to the end of, okay, you found out what happened, but as soon as I read that one, that was where your stomach drops.
Yeah.
And it's a page. There's only like a page and a half left. I mean, she doesn't linger on it, but you switch the perspective, and all of a sudden it's not any character. All the time it's all these characters, all these women, their perspectives, and then all of a sudden it's like the narrator comes in and says, "All right, she's gone, so now I have to finish her story." Well done.
The Ruthy perspective, she starts to refer to herself as Ruthy, and I was like, oh, she's dissociating, and I was like, oh, this goes hand in hand with my she's somebody else in the book. And then to realize it's dissociated, but she's also gone, so she's like it's almost like it's a past tense. Oh, I will say that I finished this book and I cannot process what happened.
Mhm.
Like it felt like impact is too little of a word. Devastation isn't quite the right word. It's like I received a hit, and as I'm like starting to like crumble to pieces, you kind of freeze and you're just kind of stuck in this motion of like, I'm just so stunned. Like I was so stunned that, you know what? It is just something that happens in everyday life. It is just a really tragic moment that happened to these women. It wasn't some fanciful thing where Ruthy ran off and became, kind of lived a different life. It wasn't it wasn't that she was hiding in plain sight. It was that something horrible happened to her. And then now it's like, got to figure out how to move forward with that. Like it was, I feel like I have to cry, but I can't cry, you know?
Well, and I like that they make, she doesn't, mention it too often, but that in particular brown women, that like the cops give up or they assume that it's the family that's done something, all that kind of stuff. And so it's also that gut punch of, why couldn't they have followed this up? Why didn't they follow? Could they not have traced it? Maybe they couldn't have. I'm not blaming you know what I mean? But I think that those questions kind of bring itself up of how many times brown women have disappeared and then they've just, in terms of the conscience, have disappeared in a way that maybe other folks have not had that same, reaction. And so she kind of layers that in too, very subtly, but it just brings in another. You talk about how it's like, it's a gut punch, but you kind of linger there. I think for them, it's like, we know that this happens to people like us. And yet it's still shocking. We're still processing it, but I think that's kind of layered in there too, which kind of gives you a different feel than you normally would. Maybe not. Maybe that's just.
I'm still processing it all. You could be right. I'm still just thinking. How about you?
I don't know. So I can't say that I knew exactly how it was going to end, but there was a certain inevitability to it. Like, because throughout the book, like one of the main, I don't know if the theme is the right word, is violence against women.
Yes, it is. I would say it's a theme.
Yeah. And so, like, it felt like you can't just end this book that happily when it comes to that, because it doesn't always end that happily in life.
Even in
so it would be like a disservice to these characters to just be like, yeah, it was fine. She was
deny their reality. Yeah.
Because even in the hope that Ruby was Ruthy stuck on a trashy reality show that's exploiting women, beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
That gets views off of violence against women. I mean, that's so. Even in that hope of, even if that is Ruby, like what has she done in her life to get to that point? That there's probably been a lot to get to that point of suffering and the normalcy of that violence. So even in that hope, there is that underlying violence against women. That's interesting.
Yeah, like violence against women by women, violence against women by men. It's just all over this book. And at the end where they're watching that final like episode or whatever with Ruby, when she's being like pulled out of the house by the producers, like the author makes a point of saying that somehow the producer's hand ended up under her shirt.
I saw that too.
Oh,
yeah.
Geez. Like one last.
Yeah.
It's
gross.
It's ubiquitous. It's so a part of the fabric of the reality, our reality. Like that is a universal thing. The violence against women. I think where it's amplified in Black and brown cultures is the willful looking away and letting it happen and not doing anything to fix it. So you have this cycle where the men in the lives do the violence against the women then recreate the violence within each themselves and their children. They then take it to a way to cope with it is to then watch and support violence in other women. So the spectacle of watching this violent catfish, like it brings up something in the women, this ability to process their own anger and yell at the TV and also form teams and mourn together. Like they're able to do all of this while also watching violence. It is I think it's a pretty profound statement on violence just in our lives and how it's just everywhere.
Even when Dolores finds out about the sexual assault, why didn't you tell me I would have killed him? Why didn't you tell me I would have committed more violence? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're right. It's so ingrained, and it wasn't, why didn't you tell me we could have done something? I would have responded with the same.
It's the problem and the solution.
Right.
And, society just ignores it. Society encourages it. It's thank you. Like, I really loved this book.
221 pages, and all of that is wrapped into 221
It was going to be a
pages.
short story first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, read the authors.
It wouldn't get picked up. Yeah, it wouldn't get picked up by people until they were like, let's turn it into a novel.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge short story person, but I kind of want to read her short stories. Knowing what she can pack into almost a novella, I bet her short stories are really, because sometimes I just feel like they're too short. I'm just like, I don't get enough out of them, but I bet her short stories are fantastic. That was her first publication.
Yeah, Staten Island stories.
Yeah.
something.
So now I'm kind of like, ooh, now I want to go back.
I would love for her to come and talk to us. I would love to hear what she has to say. Her perspective.
Yeah.
She is one of the most. So I had the pleasure of meeting her. She came to a literacy council event, and she was just awesome. She's just down to earth and cool. She's a professor at University of South Carolina, and she was not afraid. She read like passages from the book, and she dropped those F-bombs in front of some of those people, and she was like, "Y'all, this is it. This is the story." But my favorite part about her is. I gave her my card because I was like, I'd love to have you at the library. I'm a librarian. And she mentions, I love the moment where Dolores is like, these girls think I'm stupid, but I took a class at the library and I taught them how to do Excel. And I was like, you go, Dolores. And she goes, I love libraries. I grew up in libraries. And so she followed up with me several months later. She said, I've been traveling. I finally found your card. And I remembered what I was going to do. And she sent this library 4 copies of the Spanish version of this book for free to put in our collection for our Spanish speakers. So I was really worried that I was not going to like this book, just without even reading a word, because I loved her so much. She was so cool. I am so happy to say that not only is the book fantastic, but Claire is fantastic. And I would love to, I'm going to, hopefully I have her email. I might send this to her just to say we read the book and we loved it. And then also be like, you should come back and hang out with us.
Genuinely
She would be
loved it.
fun on a podcast, by the way.
Also, tell all your friends about this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Claire Jimenez.
I mean, we did go viral recently. So, I mean, we're blowing
the
up.
The podcast or just the video?
But I'm saying,
Yeah.
but in turn, the podcast went viral. So I was just like, we're popular now, so you should come.
We're popular now.
Anyway, kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos.
This is a good
This
book.
is
Good choice.
But the person matches the energy. The person's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, casting.
Oh,
We were
gosh.
just-
we
we were
haven't even
talking about
gotten
this.
there yet. Okay, I was just realizing beforehand, I was trying to Google actresses because I was like, I don't know many Afro-Latina actresses. And then I learned promptly that I was wrong. We know a lot of
Yep.
Afro-Latina actresses.
I think we had said Tessa Thompson and
Mhm.
Ariana DeBose as, I guess, Nina and Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned, I think she'd be the perfect age to play Dolores.
The lady from One Day at a
Justina
Time?
Machado. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Judy Reyes.
I did. She'd be
Ooh,
good too. She'd
Judy
be
Reyes.
Irene.
Oh my God,
She
can
could
she
be
be
Irene. Yes. Oh, and those two, because they're both funny. That'd be a good combo.
I
Yeah.
love that Irene like blow out her hair like Whitney. Oh,
She was stuck in time. Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. I love Irene. And also, I think in person, in real life, I would be like Irene.
She's on High Potential. Judy Reyes. She's the
Yeah, she is. I love Judy Reyes. I mean, she was one of the best parts of Scrubs.
Yeah.
Mhm. And she's coming back, right? Because they're rebooting it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think she's one of the ones that's coming back. For Lou, one of the Afro-Latina actors that looked up was Anthony Ramos.
Isn't Lou white?
Yeah, I thought Lou was white.
Never mind.
Because that's like part of the.
That is part of the thing. Never mind. I forgot about that detail.
It's fine.
Lou can be anyone.
Yeah, Lou.
As
Could
As
be
long
Lou.
as you're a nice human who likes to sleep. Good job, Lou.
I could be Lou.
You'd be a great Lou.
Thanks.
Everyone's all just go, hey, just go back to sleep.
Her character moments were so vivid. Like when in Ruthy's perspective, like
Yeah.
I could remember myself being an angry middle schooler.
Oh, yeah.
Same. Oh, 7th grade was the most
Yeah.
traumatic year for me. The idea that your friend turned on you, your
Yeah.
friend of years. Yeah, that happened to me 1,000%.
All
That
the
was
gum.
so real.
It's rough.
Gum in the hair.
A
I
girl-
would have beaten her with that tray, too.
Ruthy became my hero because when the girls were pulling my hair on the bus, I didn't beat them with a tray. I didn't threaten to. I am so proud of Ruthy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud. And also, come on, this makes me so sad. Just get along, kids.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized I'm Dolores. Why can't you just be friends with Yesenia still? You had such good memories, such good friends. And they're just like,
She betrayed me.
She betrayed me. And then she talked some other girl up, and then that girl put gum in my hair, which is devastating. You don't
Yeah.
just put gum in someone's hair. Like,
Yeah.
she had, then the person cut out the gum. Get peanut butter, get baby oil,
Get ice.
Get ice. You can do other things than cut out the hair. Like, you do not touch a girl's hair.
But they made the point that was like dismissive of the brown girls in the school.
Yeah.
They were just like, whatever, just cut it out so I don't have to hear about it. Like they made that
know.
point several times when they were dealing with principals and teachers and coaches and that kind of stuff.
Like,
so
they were just all
it was just a
dismissed.
layer of that there too.
It made me so sad because Mr. Hernandez seemed like one of the one adults that would care, but then Jessica was so afraid because of what happened to her. She then didn't know how to trust other adults. And when Mr. Hernandez, put his hand on that one person's shoulder that Jessica watched, like, that could have been completely innocent, but
because she was
because of her trauma, she could not trust him.
Well, then the other one was the college professor, and then Nina.
Oh, and
then
he was
he was gross. He was gross, but again, there's that lack of. You could see that they either fall hard or they have a lack of, it has screwed up their perception of adult males.
Mm-hmm.
And also not really, because there's a very good reason to be scared of the adult males in their world.
Yeah.
But I'm also really glad that their dad was not one of the scary, because the idea that we're going to perpetuate that,
Yeah.
I don't want to perpetuate the idea that all men are scary.
Yeah.
And that all brown men are scary. Like, that's not the case. So,
and it was a son of a church member who was babysitting them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a close person, but it was, like you said, it wasn't that immediate.
Yeah.
That connection.
So. Anyway, what was your question?
Casting.
Oh.
There's just so much to talk about. I was a little worried we weren't going to have anything to talk about because I was like, I just don't know how to talk about this book.
Yeah.
And then now we probably are an hour and 10 minutes. I'm sorry.
I mean, basically, we just need to cast Lou, because I did not cast him correctly, so.
Just some pale, sleepy white boy. It'll be fine.
Okay. There's plenty of those in Hollywood.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as long as they've got good chemistry with Jess.
Okay.
That, to me, would be the defining factor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I think we have a solid 4, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine those 4 in the car, the comedy?
Oh, my gosh.
Because they're all very, like, a lot of them do drama stuff, but they're all very comedic in their core. I think it'd be good.
I mean, comedic actors do the best drama.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So.
All right.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. No notes from you today?
I mean, I don't think so. Because we already talked about it.
But still, this does not apply to this book, but my favorite Kindle, I hated the characters, I hated the plot, I hated the writing, I hated the book, I hated looking at the cover, I hated smelling the pages. Like, it was just...
What did I not like? The characters, the plot, the setting?
What book was that?
I think it might have been Colleen Hoover. No.
It was one of the first seasons.
Yeah.
Was it? No, it might have been one of the first years we were in the room.
Was it Danielle Steele? Was it the Danielle Steele?
No. I can't remember.
It was funny.
Thank you.
It might have been the Colleen Hoover.
It might have been Colleen Hoover. I don't have my notes still. We can go back and listen to it. Go back and listen to our previous 4 seasons.
There's movies coming out, but I feel like that one's cooled down a little bit. Now everyone's on the Frida McFadden thing.
Yeah.
And she is like, everyone's like, and I don't know if she had previous books and they hadn't published them.
She's reprinting a lot of her old books, I think.
All of a sudden it's like there are 1,600 of hers. And I'm like, now she's the new Colleen Hoover.
As long as she's better than Colleen Hoover, which I think.
Definitely better than Colleen Hoover.
Although there's some controversy because, you were telling me.
Yeah, that she plaaplagiarized.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
I mean, borrowed ideas
she did it
from
well,
other
I
people.
guess.
Yeah. Victors tell the story.
There's a line from the West Wing. It's like good writers borrow from other writers and great writers just steal it outright. So,
Yeah. I love that we're just completely dismissing the fact that this person is stolen. Or I don't know. I haven't done that much research, but there is some controversy about her.
Yeah.
But she is putting out a lot of stuff. Actually, I will say I've had 2 conversations in the last week about a Frida McFadden book. So I'm really grateful that we listened to I'm really grateful we read it on the podcast so that I could have those conversations.
Like a frame of,
Did you tell these people about the podcast?
It's so awkward to promote myself. Do you know how hard it was to put myself in those videos?
I know.
Okay.
Someone else promote us.
I'm glad she not just burned me, but she burned you too. She got my burn in and your burn. I'm like, okay, good. It's even now. The world has reset,
I'm still processing the book. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay. Kindle House, no notes, so we're just gonna...
Yeah, let's move on.
Move on. So before we go, I'm going to promote Gaston County Public Library's Library of Things. Do you have a special project or need a piece of equipment for one-time use? Maybe you want to learn a new skill. The Gaston County Public Library may have what you're looking for. The Library of Things collection consists of tools, electronics, items for cooking, recreation, and more. Go to gastonlibrary.org and look for Library of Things under the Explore tab to learn more. That's it for this episode of We're Booked Up. What Happened to Ruthy Ramirez is available at the library and on Hoopla Digital. Let us know what you think of the book and what you think of what we think of the book. Just leave a comment at the Off the Shelf blog at gastonlibrary.blogspot.com or at gastonspeaks.podbean.com. Next month's book will be One and a Millennial by Kate Kennedy. Thanks for listening.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.